Thank you for joining us for an overview of the 2018 Accountability Rating System. This presentation provides a thorough explanation of the new rating labels and major components within the accountability system. On average, this presentation typically lasts approximately 20 minutes and is appropriate for audiences who need to be educated on the most crucial components of the 2018 accountability system. The passage of House Bill 22 made significant changes to the academic accountability system. Under House Bill 22, the Commissioner of Education is required to evaluate district and campus performance and assign ratings of A, B, C, D, or F. The descriptors for the A through F labels are as follows. A is equal to exemplary performance. B is equal to recognized performance. C is equal to acceptable performance. D is equal to in need of improvement, and F is equal to unacceptable performance. Based primarily on performance from the 2017-18 school year, districts will receive the following ratings in 2018. A, B, C, or D, assigned for overall performance and for performance in each domain to districts that meet the performance target for the letter grade. F, assigned for overall performance and for performance in each domain to districts, including AEAs, that do not meet the performance target to earn at least a D. Not rated, assigned to districts that, under certain specific circumstances, do not receive a rating. For 2018, unlike districts, campuses will not receive an A through F rating. Instead, campuses will receive one of the following ratings. Met Standard, assigned for overall performance and for performance in each domain to campuses that meet the performance targets. Improvement Required, assigned for overall performance and for performance in each domain to campuses, including AEAs, that do not meet the performance targets. Met Alternative Standard, assigned for overall performance and for performance in each domain to alternative education campuses evaluated under alternative education accountability provisions that meet the performance targets. Not rated, assigned to campuses that, under certain specific circumstances, do not receive a rating. Beginning in 2019, both districts and campuses will receive A through F ratings. The accountability system consists of three domains: student achievement, school progress, and closing the gaps. To calculate the overall district or campus rating, the better of either the student achievement or school progress domain is used and accounts for 70% of the overall rating. The closing the gaps domain accounts for the remaining 30%. Let's take a look at the first domain, student achievement. The student achievement domain has up to 3 components depending on the campus type. For elementary and middle schools, STAR is the only component available and is weighted at 100%. For high schools, K-12s and districts, there are typically 3 components available: STAR, College, Career, and Military Readiness, CCMR, and the graduation rate. If all 3 components are available, they are weighted at 40%, 40%, and 20%. If CCMR and the graduation rate data is unavailable, the STAR component is weighted at 100%. For high schools, K-12s and districts that have graduates, the College, Career, and Military Readiness CCMR component of the Student Achievement domain measures graduates' readiness for college, a career, or the military in any one of the following ways. To be considered college ready, the graduate would need to meet any one of the following. Meet criteria of 3 on the AP or 4 on the IB examinations. Meet the TSI criteria in both ELA reading and mathematics. Specifically, meet the college-ready criteria in both ELA reading and mathematics on the SAT, ACT, TSI assessment, or by successfully completing and earning credit for a college prep course. The assessment results include TSI assessments through October 2017, SAT and ACT results through the June 2017 administration, and course completion data comes to the agency via TSDS PEIMS. Complete and earn credit for at least 9 credit hours in any subject, or at least 3 or more credit hours in ELA or mathematics. Earn an associate's degree while in high school. For the 2019 Accountability Rating System, TEA will add an indicator for graduates who complete an on-ramps course. Research is being conducted on how to best develop the Meeting Standards on a Composite of Indicators Indicating College Readiness indicator. The implementation timeline for this indicator is to be determined. To be considered career ready, the graduate would need to meet any one of the following. Earn at least one of the 73 industry-based certifications. Be a CTE Coherent Sequence graduate who has completed and received credit for at least one CTE course aligned with an industry-based certification. This indicator will award 1/2 point only for graduates who have met no other CCMR indicator. Graduate with a completed individualized education program with a graduation type code of 04, 05, 54, or 55. Additional research is being conducted on how to implement the Be Admitted to a Post-Secondary Industry Certification Program indicator. The implementation timeline for this indicator is to be determined. The final indicator in the CCMR component is military readiness. This indicator is for graduates who enlist or intend to enlist in the United States Armed Forces. Next, we'll take a look at the school progress domain. The school progress domain has 2 parts, Part A, academic growth, and Part B, relative performance. For the school progress domain, both Part A and Part B are evaluated. The higher scaled score of Part A or Part B is used for the overall score in the Closing the Gaps domain. Let's take a look at Part A, academic growth. Part A, academic growth, includes all assessments with a STAR progress measure. STAR progress measures are available for all types of STAR tests, with and without accommodations, and for STAR Alternate 2 in reading and mathematics for grades 4 through 8. For STAR end of course tests, the STAR progress measure is available in Algebra 1 and English 2. Districts and campuses earn credit in Part A academic growth for assessments that earn expected or accelerated growth on the STAR progress measure. Additionally, credit is awarded for students who maintain performance from year to year even if they did not meet growth expectations. Here is an example of how this is calculated for a student. TEA evaluates student growth in ELA reading and mathematics from year to year to see if a student grew academically or maintained proficiency. Example 1. Following the green line, a student performed at the Approaches grade level standard on his or her grade 3 star last year, and at the Meets grade level standard on the grade 4 star this year. This example earns 1 point, as the student received an accelerated STAR progress measure. Example 2. Following the blue line, a student performed at the Approaches grade level standard on his or her grade 3 star last year, and at the Approaches grade level standard on the grade 4 star this year. This example also earns 1 point, as the student received an expected STAR progress measure. Example 3. Following the orange line, a student performed at the Approaches grade level standard on his or her grade 3 star last year, and at the Approaches grade level standard on the grade 4 star this year. While the student was eligible for a STAR progress measure, there was no growth in the subject area. This example earns 1/2 of a point, as the student maintained proficiency from year to year. The last example, following the red line, a student performed at the Approaches grade level standard on his or her grade 3 star last year, and at the did not meet grade level standard on the grade 4 star this year. While the student was eligible for a STAR progress measure, there is no growth in the subject area, and the student did not maintain proficiency. This example earns no points. Let's take a look at Part B, Relative Performance. Part B, Relative Performance, evaluates the achievement of all students relative to districts or campuses with similar socioeconomic statuses. Relative performance compares a district's or campus's performance in the student achievement domain, the y-axis, against districts or campuses with similar percentages of economically disadvantaged students, the x-axis. On average, a campus with fewer economically disadvantaged students has higher levels of student achievement, and a campus with more economically disadvantaged students tends to have lower levels of student achievement. Using 2017 modeling data, an average line was determined, and A through F cut points were established. These cut points will remain stable for 5 years. To calculate the relative performance score, the district or campus's percentage of economically disadvantaged students and student achievement components for 2018 are mapped. Where the district or campus falls in relation to the cut points determines the relative performance outcome. The third domain is the Closing the Gaps domain. The Closing the Gaps domain is intended to identify differentials in performance among student groups. This domain disaggregates the performance of 14 student groups. These groups include students from different racial ethnic groups, students who receive special education services, students who are continuously enrolled in mobile, students who are English learners, and students who are economically disadvantaged. The Closing the Gaps domain is aligned with the federal requirements of the Every Student Succeeds Act. On the left-hand side are the student groups evaluated in the Closing the Gaps domain. All students, African American, Hispanic, White, American Indian, Asian, Pacific Islander, 2 or more races, economically disadvantaged, current special education, former special education, current and monitored English learners, continuously enrolled, and non-continuously enrolled. These are the same student groups that were used for accountability previously, with 3 exceptions: former special education, continuously enrolled, and non-continuously enrolled. The student groups that meet the minimum size criteria are evaluated on the following components shown on the right. Academic achievement in reading and mathematics is evaluated for student groups at the STAR meets grade level standard or above. For elementary and middle schools, student groups are evaluated on growth, using the academic growth domain data, in reading and mathematics. For high schools, K-12s, and districts, student groups are evaluated for students who are college, career, and military ready. For elementary and middle schools, student groups are evaluated on the STAR component from the student achievement domain. Remember that this component evaluates the percentage of assessments at the approaches grade level or above, meets grade level or above, and master's grade level of performance. Lastly, student groups are evaluated on the English language proficiency status. The Closing the Gaps domain score is calculated based on how many student groups meet set achievement targets. To review, in order to calculate the overall district or campus rating, the better of either the student achievement or school progress domain is used and accounts for 70% of the overall rating. The Closing the Gaps domain accounts for the remaining 30%. For 2018, districts will receive A through F ratings, while campuses will receive either Met Standard or Improvement Required. Ratings for every public district and campus in Texas will be released publicly on August 15, 2018. In order to get an overall rating, we use the following steps. Step 1. Determine the better outcome of the student achievement and the school progress domain scaled scores. Remember that the overall school progress domain uses the higher scaled score of Part A or Part B. Step 2. Weight the better outcome of the student achievement or school progress domain scaled score at 70%. To calculate the points earned, multiply the scaled score by 70%. Step 3. Weight the closing the gaps domain scaled score at 30%. To calculate the points earned for closing the gaps, multiply the scaled score by 30%. Step 4. Total the weighted outcome of the two scaled scores to calculate the overall score. Here's an example of how to calculate the overall rating for a hypothetical district. In this table, each of the domains in the accountability system are on the left. Each domain has a corresponding scaled score. Note that the school progress domain has two parts. Each have a corresponding scaled score. As you can see, the 84 in Part A is higher than the 72 in Part B, so 84 is used for the overall score for the school progress domain. Next, determine the better outcome between the student achievement and the school progress domain scaled scores. Since the 89 in student achievement is higher than the 84 for school progress, the 89 from student achievement is used. Next, weight the better outcome of the student achievement or school progress domains at 70%. Since the student achievement scaled score of 89 is higher, multiply 89 by 70% to get the weighted points. In this example, the outcome is 62.3. The next step is to weight the closing the gaps domain scaled score at 30%. In this example, multiply the scaled score of 81 from the closing the gaps domain by 30% to get the weighted points. For closing the gaps, this outcome comes to 24.3 points. The final step is to total the two weighted outcomes to calculate the overall scaled score. In this example, 62.3 plus 24.3 equals 86.6. Domain and overall scores are rounded to the nearest whole number, so 86.6 is rounded to an overall score of 87. The overall score of 87 equates to a B, and this is the overall rating for the district. Thank you for viewing this presentation. If you have additional questions or are in need of additional resources regarding accountability, please visit the following websites. Want to be updated on the latest news regarding accountability and the A through F rating system? If so, please sign up for the Performance Reporting Weekly Bulletin, where we highlight important developments and answer frequently asked questions. You can sign up to receive our weekly newsletter by clicking on the Sign Up for Updates link located at the top of the TEA homepage. Finally, if you have any questions regarding state, federal, or local accountability systems, please visit our websites. If you have any other questions, please email or call us. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.